We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us.
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Okay. Well, should we do this?
Sure, why not?
Isn't that what
All
we're
right.
here for?
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to a very special High School Famous, the podcast tightly linked to the murders of And I'm Being Asked Not to Continue. Change the subject. How about baseball? Let's talk about our picks for the World Series this year.
The World Series this year.
Yeah. We can't pick who we think is going to go to last year's World Series, can we?
For whatever reason, I immediately didn't click World Series baseball. I was immediately just going Super Bowl because it's coming up.
Sure.
So I was just like, that the picks, the teams
They
are
already
already
know.
been picked for that.
They already know who's in
So
that.
how are we doing our picks for it?
Yep. See, you think I don't think about these things.
Well, when it comes to sports,
Well, I know the difference between the World Series and the Super Bowl.
right,
One is in winter and one is in the summer.
right.
Cool.
Now, what are the similarities?
The similarities, they're very important, apparently.
Mhm.
Way too much money gets put into them. And celebrities come. I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
And today we have a special guest.
Mm-hmm.
I think she still goes by the name of Abby. Is this correct, Abby?
Most of the time, yeah.
Very good.
Most of the time.
Most of the
What
time.
happens the other? What happens the other? Not most of the
I have
time.
a couple different names, like everybody.
Well, her email address might clue you into one of them.
Right.
So we can get into all that.
But let's not
history
give
if
her
you want.
email address out on the.
No.
Yeah, please don't.
No. Why would I? Of course not. Matt, you act like this is the first time. First of all, there has not been some occasion where I slipped up and gave someone's info out. So
You
don't
haven't
even
doxed
act
No,
like
I know.
I need to be reminded.
Don't
Yeah,
dox.
no, I have not. No, nope. I've not done that. So I have the wherewithal to keep that stuff
Right.
private for your benefit,
Okay.
out of respect to you.
I feel reassured.
Yeah. So
Her phone number just starts flashing on the screen.
yeah, but again,
My
that's
mom's
just
maiden
for us.
name.
Yeah, that's just for us.
Social security number.
Just the last four. We don't want the rest.
Yeah,
of it.
Okay.
yeah. Well, we'll put all the numbers out there, just not in the right order.
There we go.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
no one's
numbers
got
is
any.
wrong.
No one's got technology to scramble those and auto dial them. I'm sure.
Right.
So Matt, Abby,
Yep.
I should let you know this episode is not going to post this coming Tuesday. It's going to post the following Tuesday. So Matt, that means I had to look a week ahead to pick out
Oh,
A
I
future-
forgot. Yeah.
a future dad joke.
Okay.
So Abby, what happened was my son was very excited to get me a 2023 dad jokes calendar for Christmas. And he then very quickly regretted it once I started reading him the dad jokes every day, because there are funny dad jokes, and then there are
And then there are the ones in this calendar.
right. There's the ones
The
where I don't even know
groaners.
if this could make it onto a Laffy Taffy.
I don't even know if they're worth a groan.
It's just you
Most
So-
of them
being
are just
vaguely racist.
Well,
Sean
yeah.
doesn't go vague with his
Okay,
racism.
okay.
yeah, I'm full on. I want people
He's
to
up
know.
front.
Yeah,
Proud of who I am.
I'm very. I wear it
They're
on my
all
sleeve.
racist towards white people, though.
I wear my racism on my sleeve. So this is actually the joke for February 14th. Ooh, romantic.
Oh.
A word of dating advice. If he doesn't appreciate your fruit jokes, you need to let that man go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, they don't get groans; they just get
Mhm.
sighs.
Yeah.
Of
Mhm.
So I realized after reading it that I didn't actually fully explain what we do. I just, throughout the week, I pick the best one.
yeah.
So of all of next week's jokes, that, in my opinion, was the best one.
Oh, wow.
So you can tell what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mango jokes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Should
It's highbrow stuff.
return that kid. Get a different kid.
Not the calendar.
Do you
Don't
know what's
think it-
involved in returning a child?
Some states you can just drop them off wherever.
I would have
It
had
gets
to
much
have,
more difficult to return them as they get bigger.
Okay.
well, I would have had to have acquired him legally in the first place to be able to return him.
You
Right.
stole them,
So
so
I'm
you don't have a
already out.
receipt.
I'm already SOL as the letters dictate. Abby, you know us. How do you know?
You know us.
How do you know us, Abby?
From school.
From
From high school.
high school.
Oh my
wow,
God.
it fits the
Wow.
theme of the podcast.
I don't
Holy
think
cow.
I knew you guys before high school, but I met like Jan and Brooke
No.
when I was in junior high, and you guys
Which
were
junior
friends with
high
them.
were you at?
I went to Vandenberg.
So I went to
Okay.
Vandenberg.
Okay.
So-
did I.
Yeah.
Matt did too, but there's no
Okay.
reason that
Yeah.
you should have met him then. You maybe would have met me then.
I met also I was in the driving class with like Noah and Mikey and I think Mark, like the behind the wheel class or whatever.
Oh,
Or the
very
whatever.
cool.
So the whatever, yeah.
The whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were like adjacent for a little bit, I suppose. And then
Okay.
yeah, and then I've
Interesting.
been friends with your sister for a long time too. So, and I don't know if that was junior high or high school that we started hanging out. Because I
I
was
don't know,
in,
but you
I was
blocked
like-
that from your memory, right? You blocked all that.
I was friends with your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Good. Good.
Yeah, Sean.
But-
Until you said something, Sean had blocked it from his memory that
That he
she
had
was even his
Had a
sister.
sister, yeah.
I
Aw.
imagine if you've ever seen a therapist and mentioned her, that they would suggest the same thing.
Oh shit.
Just wipe
And
that
char-
out.
No,
And
Just
charge
wipe
you
it out.
double.
my
Charge
therapist doesn't
double
talk
for it?
about your sister, so
Oh, they hate her too. Okay, good.
Yeah.
shit.
They're like, we know.
She
Yeah,
might
they're
listen.
like-
Many of people have come in here and talked to us about her.
Her reputation
might-
precedes her.
She might listen to this. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, this is probably the most direct hate we've given towards her.
And it's all in jest. It's all good
Yeah,
fun.
sure.
It's all
Sure.
great fun
Yeah.
at the expense of
What-
someone. I'm sure.
What I say is
Of someone.
families are hard is how I describe before I talk about my family. So I
God.
understand.
Well,
yeah.
So let's dig into your family then. You want to get into it?
Great.
Yeah.
No, we don't need to do any
It's
of
like how
that.
collectively, we're all the coolest parts of our family.
Now, Matt, you can't
Probably.
you can't be the one to say that. You can't declare yourself the cool one of any.
I mean-
someone else has to think it. You can't think that yourself. It doesn't count.
No, I
You-
think
you
I
immediately-
can.
You immediately lose that title if you
I'm-
self-declare it.
I'm going to beg to differ on that. I'm pretty sure you've
Okay.
met.
You typically
met my
beg on your
family.
knees. So,
Well, are you asking me to get on my knees?
are you claiming to beg? I don't know.
Okay.
You.
You
choose-
can't tell if I'm not on my knees right now.
Oh my God, his knees are
Fair.
hideous.
Rude.
Abby, have you ever?
That's
who
probably the
has
nicest thing
good
he's ever said
knees?
about me.
Have you
has,
ever
like,
seen Matt's
excellent
knees?
knees?
I'm pretty sure I've seen Matt's knees. Back in the
I-
day when we were all knee sporting chaps.
When we were all hanging out naked together.
Yeah, no, that's not what I said. No, no.
I was never invited to that.
I put a tolerable image in people's heads. That we were younger and had knees.
I don't know who amongst our friend group has seen my knees, and this is a sentence I never thought I would ever say.
Did you ever wear
But-
shorts?
No, I don't. I'm not a shorts person
Okay.
at all.
Not even shants? Remember short
Oh God,
pants?
no, definitely not shants.
No capris?
Yeah, I'm always. Oh, I was sporting the capris like mad. My Jinko capris
Yeah.
that I used to wear in high
No,
school.
that's a
Skinny
weird
jeans with knee
thought.
holes?
That's a weird thought. Janko capris.
Yeah. With a nice high heel
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that had a grind plate on them.
You're in touch with all your sides.
Soap brand high heels.
There you go.
I bet you could do that.
Sure.
You can do anything if you want.
Well, the hardest part would be just like running up to the rail or the ledge. The grinding itself is probably similar to regular soaps.
You can teach yourself to run in heels.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's of the parts of all the steps it takes to soap or freestyle walk. The running up
always
with
hated
the
that
heels. Yeah.
Freestyle walking is such a stupid term.
We made
The
up
run-
rules for it once, I think.
Probably.
I think we did.
I mean, you don't just like stumble into it.
yeah, there's like trick names and everything.
Well, that's the last thing you want to do when freestyle
Stumble.
walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
not a
first
trick.
rule. Don't stumble.
It's not a trick.
That's not a trick. Yeah. It's not a recognized trick by
Yeah.
the judges.
Right.
It's a deduction.
You actually get docked points for that.
I think like the lamest trick you can do in freestyle walking is like any sort of grab.
A grab, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even.
Any sort of grab move.
What about like a stall? So you just like step up onto a
Stalls
a
too,
step
yeah,
and
good
hang
point.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one too. That's a good one.
Or just tightrope style walk
Yeah.
across the rail is like a move. Yeah.
I had
Did people
grind
do
plates.
that?
Probably.
I had grind plates on my roller skates for a while, but I wasn't good enough to not die with them on there. But yeah, like I can do like 4 things in the ramps, and that's one of them is just stall on the coping.
I'd never thought about
Aggressive
grind
roller
plates
skates.
on roller skates.
yeah, you
I
should
didn't know
check
that. Yeah.
out.
That seems way more frightening to
It's.
me than
I mean,
inline.
it is a little bit. I've slammed a lot of times and stuff, but once you get into it, you start being okay with it and stuff. But I have friends that are like super talented at it, and like I'm just like I'm
At
too
stalling?
old. I'm too old, and yeah, I'm too old to slam into the ground any more than I already have. So
I was thinking about that the other day. I was watching some videos on YouTube where people were like, like snowboarding or skateboarding and slamming hard and stuff. And I'm just like, like in my 20s, I can imagine doing stupid stuff like that. But now that I'm 40, I'm like, I would not recover quickly at all from that. Like I would be out for like a week.
yeah,
Just tripping and falling. I'd probably be down for a couple days at this point. I'm just
Yeah.
like, ugh. It's just a scary thought as you get older. Like, no, my body's not.
even
I mean, my body was never good, but
even watching it
Definitely
on
not
the
now.
internet and stuff, it's like that hurts
Oh.
my body to watch that.
yeah, I get phantom pains. Yeah.
Like
Well,
it
I
used
get, like,
to be fun
sympathy
to watch
pains.
people fall, and now I'm like, oh, I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember looking forward to the wipeout section of a skate video, but
Yeah.
there were certain times, even back then, where I would see someone like break something or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you're same with you, Matt. The phantom pain
Yeah.
showed up. I'm like,
You get a
oh,
phantom pain,
God.
or you at least you can be like, I know exactly what that would feel like, and it's horrifying.
One
See,
of the
I have never.
And now as an older person, I have compassion for those people, and I don't laugh as hard as I used to.
Just you still laugh, just not as much.
Just a little bit.
You
Just a
ask
little bit.
if
I'm like,
they're okay first,
oh.
and then laugh.
Yeah. Now you go, you're right, and as they're like, yeah, I'm good. Then you can be like, all right, that's funny.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
When
I
So
can
you're
laugh at you.
When I
Mhm,
was in roller derby, I was on the safety team as well. So many a flopped over ankles that I had to like
Oh.
brace, and like one of the last times I brought a newer skater to the skate park, she broke her like compound fractured her ankle, and
Oh,
and
so like bone out.
and she's like, that's broken, and I was
Oh.
like, what's broken? And I look, and I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, do you want me to call anyone? And she's like, an ambulance? And I was like, well, all my friends are poor.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want an ambulance.
Right. We just assume walk it off.
Yeah. We'll get you in the
Skate
car
it
and we'll
off.
take you there. But she's like, I'm a nurse. I have really good insurance. And I'm like, cool. And then I'm like, do you want me to call your husband? And she was like, no, that's okay. And I'm like, we should probably call your husband.
Oh. That's how she knew it was broken.
Yeah.
She's a nurse.
Oh, and then she made me take pictures of it before the ambulance got there. So yeah,
For
just for
insurance
fun.
purposes.
yeah, for
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Well, of course, you want to have the memory.
Yep. And she's like giving
The
a thumbs
cast
up.
isn't enough of a memory.
Yeah, and the
So-
surgery, and yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's
so many surgeries. Oof.
I've never broken
And then-
a bone, nor have I been in the vicinity of a broken bone. I'm very sheltered in this regard. I have no experience or exposure to this.
Closest thing is my snapped my front tooth. That's the closest thing to breaking a bone I've had.
But you
That-
said
I was little.
but you said that when you were watching those wipeout things, you'd say that you know exactly how it feels when a bone is broken.
I mean, you know what it feels like to slam something, not necessarily
Yeah.
breaking a bone. But
Oh,
yeah,
I
I
assumed-
can sympathize with like slamming or smashing your head on something or
Yes.
knocking the wind out of yourself. Like I definitely know those. I've been very lucky to have never broken a bone. But when I used to skate, though, I was so overly afraid that I would hurt myself that I didn't even try to like really learn how to skate very well.
And when you think you're going to hurt yourself is when you hurt yourself too. So.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Sean slam pretty hard.
Thumbs up.
Like to the point, it's a slam that he doesn't really fully remember.
Is that what's
Are
wrong
you talking
with
about
him?
just the one at the post office?
Yeah, the one at the post office where you said there's bits and pieces of it you don't really recall.
Yeah,
He
I
hit
got
your
knocked
head?
out.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh yeah, he. Well, it was crazy because he did the trick and ate shit, and then like got up immediately and then did the trick, and then
Correct.
we left, and then at that point, that's when it like all sunk into him, and then he was like fucked up after that.
Is on like autopilot?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Were you wearing a helmet?
Yeah,
Probably not. Because what year was
No,
it?
of course not.
It was what?
1998?
We were
2000?
teenagers.
Yeah.
It was probably 2000, and I hit
Might
that.
not even have been 2000 yet. It might have been 90,
Maybe.
99. Even.
I hit that long handrail down the ramp at the Elk River Post Office, and I tried to switch my sides, and I just slipped, clank onto the rail, clank down onto the cement, and then they said I was down for like a minute or something, right?
You were laying there for a little bit,
I don't know. I just woke up
and then
You just
kind of
woke up.
then you
panicked.
got up and did it again.
Yeah, then I did the trick.
Immediately did the trick after that.
I think I was probably
And then we
like
left.
pissed that I didn't, that I fell.
I think
So-
I think at first you were mad because it hurt, and then after that the shock wore off, and then that's when you were like, yeah, you were really out of it after that.
It was cool.
And we just
Cool.
we didn't take you to a doctor or anything. I think we just went back to somebody's house.
Yeah,
about
we
right.
went
Like he's
somewhere.
probably fine.
Yeah, it was because what? It was Ed and me and you.
I remember us three. That's all
We
I
might have just gone
remember.
back to my
have just
house
went,
then.
Yeah, we might have just went back to your place.
Ed,
We're like, he's not throwing up, so he's probably fine.
So yeah, speaking of roller derby,
Vomit.
oh. Can I tell my
Speaking of not
broken bone
vomiting.
story first?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I broke my wrist in the basement of the Sunshine Depot when I was 6 years old. I fell into the ball pit that they used to have, but it didn't have any balls in it.
Ah,
So just a pit.
I did. So it was just
you
a
fell
pit.
into
Yeah.
the air pit.
I
Mhm.
didn't even know. I don't know if I remember Sunshine Depot even had a basement.
Not after that.
Oh, that was the.
That
that's
was
what
one of
closed
the
it down.
reasons, I think.
They
yeah.
filled the basement in. They
Yeah,
filled it
they
up
just-
with cement,
Yeah.
concrete. Yeah,
They filled in the pit.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
Yeah, 'cause
much.
they had like whack-a-mole and some other games down there and like a ball pit. And there was a whole crew of little kids down there. And I fell in and started screaming and everybody left. So, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody just left.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Some-
got to get away from this
Yeah,
situation.
some random dude heard me crying and carried me upstairs and like to all the drunk parents was like, someone claim your child.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
wow.
one?
Yeah.
Who's
Why I'm
this?
in therapy.
That's why.
One
It's
of the
been haunting
reasons.
you ever
Yeah.
since.
Growing up in the
Uh,
80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
God,
Feral
yeah.
country
We
kids.
did that.
I think I've been to the Sunshine Depot once.
Yeah, it's on Main
I'm
Street.
sure
Twice?
you've been there. Yeah,
Twice.
probably.
It's still
back-
open,
I
I
don't
think.
even know if it's
still there.
I think it's just called the Depot
Yeah.
now, though, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah.
They got rid of the Sunshine years
Yeah.
ago.
And
Yeah.
Dick's Main Tap is like some weird deer bar now, but
That's
that's
such a great name.
my mom and aunt and were on the softball team, and my grandpa was the coach. So I grew up in that bar. So
Wow.
yeah,
If you're gonna grow up in any bar,
Yep.
that's the one.
Dick's Main Tap.
The
Yeah.
original name was Dick's Main Tip, but they thought they wanted to make it a
Mhm.
family-friendly place, so they,
Yeah,
I mean, before that, it
cool.
was Dick's Main Vein.
That's gross.
No.
Anyways, Sean, take the lead.
Sean, you go.
I'm gonna edit that out.
So I thought it'd be cool if you sort of got into the history of you getting into roller derby and what your time was like doing that.
Okay. I actually won tickets off the Current. It was like the first or second year that the Current was going, and they were giving away tickets because one of the gals that was a DJ, Jill, was on the team on Minnesota Roller Girls.
Ah.
Her derby name was Animal, or Savage Animal, something like that. But I won tickets off the Current, and I brought my dad to the bout, and it was fucking awesome. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. Just like people crashing into each other, and well, people. It was like all ladies at the time, or all female-bodied people. I guess there were a couple trans skaters at the time, but yeah, just like slamming into each other, and there's like punk rock music, and it was just like pure chaos, but like so cool. And me and my dad just looked at each other and we're like, "You're gonna do that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
You guys each said that to each other.
Yeah, we were just like, "Holy shit!" Yeah. But it was like a few months before I moved up to Duluth to finish college, and so I was
Sure.
like kind of bummed about not being able to like go do that or whatever. And one of the first friends that I met up here was like a friend of a friend. They're like, "You should hang out with this person. They're cool." And I'm like, "Okay." So I went and hung out. She's like, "Do you want to come to this meeting with me?" And I was like, "What meeting?" And she was like, "It's for
Sounds
roller
sketchy.
derby."
Yeah.
And yeah, it was
It's a cult.
Scientology.
Yeah.
It was AA. Yeah.
You got assigned a friend, then they invited you to a weird meeting.
Yeah. We're gonna measure your whatever the thetans or
Yeah.
but
Put
no,
on this tracksuit.
yeah, it was for roller derby, and it was just like everybody met at RT Quinlan's in the basement of the diviest bar in town, and they're like, "We want to start a thing here," and I was like, "Yeah." So I was like part of it was Harbor City Roller Dames when we first started, but now it's Harbor City Roller Derby to be more inclusive and whatnot.
So you helped like start the team.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and
That's awesome.
Nice.
up in the Twin Ports. And I skated there for about 2 years. Our first like practices were literally we'd go to adult night at the roller rink, and then the owner would let us hang out for half an hour after that and like practice like stopping and going, and like barely any of us could skate or anything, and we didn't have any gear. We didn't like whatever. So I played a couple of like mixer bouts while I was up there. So like we mixed up teams from Minnesota Roller Girls and North Star Roller Girls in Minneapolis, and mixed up with us. And that's how I met a shit ton of people. And when I graduated college, I just knew that I wanted to go play real roller derby. Like I was like, "Job? What's a job?
I want to go pro.
You're graduating with like $60,000 in debt, but here, let's go find the shittiest jobs you can quit if you want to go play a bout, and they won't give you the night off." So I did that a few times. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the time. That's the time to do it for sure. If you want to just be like,
yeah.
I want to just have fun.
Yeah,
and
when you're
goof
supposed
off
to
for
work,
a while.
that's
go
the
do
time
the
to quit.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Go
But
have your fun.
and that's like how I got all my jobs was people from roller derby too. And but yeah, I skated for North Star Roller Girls. It's roller derby now, but it was North Star Roller Girls in Minneapolis. I skated there for 3 years. I was on the Banger Sisters, and I was on the the Supernovas, which was the travel team, and then I was also on the Delta Delta Die. And then I transferred to Minnesota Roller Derby, and was there for like 4 years on the Dagger Dolls, and then I was also the mascot for the travel team, which I also made. And then I worked for a summer at a place called V Corporation where they make all the stuff for Sesame Street Live, and that was a weird summer. But
I came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I made the mascot. And that's how I got that job. So like every little thing that I did led to another thing, like from derby to jobs to derby to jobs and stuff. So yeah. And then
you got to fall into a river on a roller skate doing the flutog.
I did the Red Bull flutog. That
was awesome.
I did like a
I forgot all about
flop.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Our roller skate, they didn't tell us that we couldn't keep it afterwards. So like we welded it together with like, it was like small steel rods or whatever. So it wasn't super heavy, but that thing was not going to fucking fly at all.
No.
And like the people pushing it did not push it fast. Like it literally went straight down and then backwards 3 feet. And I remember like I got launched out of it. So I was like 10 feet in front of it and did like a 60-foot belly flop and like popped some ribs out. And like the last thing I saw before I hit the water was the thing coming down after me. And I was like, I'm going to fucking die here. Yeah, in front
what a
of
way to go.
250,000 people. Yeah, I've done some weird stuff.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I moved back up north like 6 or 7 years ago because my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to come work here at my tattoo shop?" And I said, "I don't know how to do that." She said, "That's okay." And I said, "Okay." And then I I moved back up there, and I wasn't gonna skate again, but I ended up announcing for a year and then skating for two more years for North Star. So, or not North Star, Harbor City. So, like 13 years total of ruining my body.
It came full circle in the end.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I'm often afraid to apply for jobs because I look at the list of what they're looking for, and I'm like, I'm not qualified to do any of this stuff. And you're just like, yeah, come work at my tattoo parlor. Well, I don't know how to do that. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, you made one costume. Start making stuff for Sesame Street Live.
Pretty much.
You know, you're like, I don't know how to do anything. Hey, come work for us.
You need
to
to
everything.
acquire skills, Sean.
Yeah,
I do. I know.
I also can drive like every kind of forklift and every like big old lift in a in a warehouse and stuff. So
I mean,
let's race.
I could drive forklift too.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Abby and I are going to have a forklift off.
That was like one of my favorite jobs, though, was working in a warehouse. Just counting stuff, putting stuff away. Love it. Mwah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Well,
yeah.
We've all done that.
Not for $14 an hour, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
about
we were making a lot less than that when we started.
Well, when we started,
I think once we got forklift positions, then it was $13 an hour.
Shit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we officially got hired on, I believe.
What do you guys make now? I'm just kidding.
I get paid in forklifts.
Oh, nice. One a year.
One a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good money.
But I have to trade it in.
Value, and that's great.
I have to trade it in every year. I don't get to keep the old one. It's not like I don't get to collect them. I know.
Lame.
It's okay. I don't have the space.
You only put so many hours on it every year.
Yeah, I have like a mile cap or a mileage cap. You know.
Oh man.
It'd be an hourly cap.
Huh?
Forklifts are out by hour. They track how many hours they've run, not how much distance they've traveled.
Says you.
Says the forklift guy.
Well,
do you still drive one?
Yeah, occasionally.
Well, you've never leased one through an automobile dealership, so they have a mileage cap. They have a mileage cap when you lease them.
Nobody's ever leased a forklift through
it was
automobile.
Not with that
dealership.
Attitude.
Luther Toyota tried it.
I've been going about this all wrong.
I jumped in when they tried it out. They didn't know how to lease out a forklift. They imported all of the car details for when you're leasing a car and applied that to forklift because they didn't know. You know, it was the first year. They've got some more stuff figured out and they've kind of adjusted some of the verbiage. Got you. But they're sticking with mileage for sure. They're not going to go to hourly, you know? So,
sure.
Yeah. You can't argue that.
And
you can't argue that.
So now you work in a tattoo shop.
I do.
And now you
stories.
went from I don't know how to do that to now you're a tattoo artist.
Doing that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah, how so now if I'm not mistaken, don't some people start off practicing on like fruit and stuff like they'll so is that what you did, or did you have some other kind of practice surface, or was it like
right onto human testing?
Immediately tattooing people. Literally, my first day that I went up to go see if it was the thing that I was going to want to do. Yeah, that
sounds horrifying.
Yeah, hold on. There's dogs in here. Get out of here! Hey. Yeah. Go out there. Thank you. They're just wrestling.
This will
get out of here,
bats. I'm gonna stay in there.
Bats.
Yeah. Get out of here, dogs.
Yeah, my buddy Jill just was like, "Hey, do you want to come do this? Start driving up on the weekend." So I was working my two jobs. I was a college lab assistant in photography and ceramics at what college was it? It was at a college in White Bear Lake, Century College. There we go. And then
so you assisted a college lab.
Yep. So the dark room and the like digital photo lab, and then also in the ceramics room and art department and stuff. And then I was also working overnights at a group home for people with Prader-Willi syndrome. which is a very specific, look it up if you want. And Fallon, do you guys remember Fallon? She was a year younger than me. Yeah, she was my boss there. And we also played roller derby together. But anyway, so I was working those 2 jobs full time and also still doing roller derby stuff. And then I was driving up to Duluth every weekend to work at the tattoo shop as well. And I did that for about 9 months and then moved up there fully and quit my other jobs and also worked at Harley Davidson for a little bit while I was like still learning tattoo stuff and whatnot. So I did that working at Harley and then also tattooing for like 3 months before I went tattooing full time. And yeah, my first day that I went up to go hang out in the shop and see if it was something I wanted to do, Jill finished up with her client and then she's like, all right, you're going to tattoo me. And I was like, okay. And just like went for it and then tattooed someone the next day. And then it was on from there. And literally she was just like, here's how you use a liner. Here's how you use a shader. Now work. And that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your first was on a friend / coworker then.
Yep. Yeah.
I was thinking that they were
God.
going to
Not
just
a
walk you up
client,
to a customer and just say, go.
It would have to be a very like willing customer that had been like doing that in the past. That was like, apprentices can go to town on me.
My first tattoo was Jill. My second tattoo was Matt, who was our other coworker at the time. And then our third tattoo was a customer. So,
wow.
And then it was just like people, because I knew so many people from roller derby stuff and from like other life stuff that I had mentioned that I was like going up there to maybe do this. And everyone was like, you have to tattoo me. And it was just like constant from then on, which was like really cool. But also it was for the first like 4 years of tattooing. I was like, literally have no idea what I'm doing. But apparently they liked it. So
there you go.
And they keep coming back.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the stuff on your Instagram and it's just like every single time you post something, it's like better and better and better. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff that you've been doing even in the last couple of years, it's just like, Jesus Christ, it's so good looking. So I'm like, I don't get to Minnesota very often, but I'm like, I got to figure out how I can get a Abby tattoo.
Yeah. Or find some cool places in Chicago that want guest artists and I'll come do that. That'd be fun.
You go.
I did a guest in California. Yeah. I did a few down in Minneapolis and stuff. And then I've done one in California. But
Sean, let's get matching high school famous tattoos.
Yeah, I drew some for you guys.
So Matt,
Really?
you're not aware of this.
Oh shit!
I asked Abby I said, based on what you know about us, I want you to come up with what you consider to be the perfect tattoo for each of us.
Oh no!
So this is what she apparently. I didn't know I thought she was just going to come up with like the idea, like a pizza box falling off of a tree branch.
No,
or something.
you don't tell an artist to come up with a verbal description of something.
Gotcha. So so she'll show us, and then we can describe what we're looking at, or she can describe what she's showing us.
We can post. We'll post them on our Instagram or something.
Yeah. I didn't now the dogs are wrestling again. I didn't color them in or anything, so so this is for Matt.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a Lucky Captain Rabbit King.
It's a Lucky Captain Rabbit King.
It is. Yeah. From Powerpuff Girls.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's from a still in the commercial where he's rollerblading.
Right.
And he's grinding down a rail and then jumps over a thing into a giant thing of cereal or whatever.
Fucking love Lucky Captain Rabbit King.
And this was the immediate first
good.
thing I thought of for Sean.
Oh.
It's a Sean tattoo.
You know,
I thought of it like immediately.
First
and, I was like,
and last
so
name
stupid.
spelled incorrectly. It's so good.
you know what?
Please get that, Sean. Please
You know
get
what?
that tattooed on you.
That is almost perfect enough.
I'm still listening.
To do.
Hold on.
I almost.
Dude, you've got to get that tattoo.
The funny thing is, she responded. The funny thing is, she responded with, "Oh, and then you guys both have to get them." And I was like,
I agree.
So I'm like, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You're not going to draw
and then,
something if you're not going to get it.
Right?
So
It's been decided. We have to. We're gonna figure out a time. Sean and I are gonna take a Duluth trip at some point. Maybe we can figure it out this summer just to come up and get those tattoos.
Why did I think that you were in Wisconsin?
I am in Wisconsin.
Because you're an idiot.
But nobody knows where like Superior is. Everybody knows where Duluth is.
Oh, it's like just
yes,
it's just on the other side, basically.
Yeah, I'm across the bridge. Yeah. So unfortunately,
we're gonna go to Duluth.
Yeah, I unfortunately moved to Wisconsin. It was accidental.
Well, we can't all be winners.
So just so everyone knows what Abby presented for me, my name is Sean Tattoo, SeanTatu, and she put up Sean SHAWN and then Tattoo TATTOO on that ribbon
on
type
a banner.
Is that what it is?
Banner.
American traditional banner. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, right now, collectively, Sean and I have one tattoo. So this is.
I have zero.
We can triple this.
What is the one? What is the one that you have, Matt? I always forget.
I just have a 13 on my forearm.
Okay.
Roman numeral 13, but I need to get it redone. And
I couldn't remember if you did the 13 thing or if it was the St. Patrick's Day thing where you could get like a 4-leaf clover or something tattooed on you for free.
No, Iman got a 4-leaf clover with a 13 on it on the back of her neck, and then I got the 13 on my forearm. It was the Friday the 13th thing.
Gotcha.
Did you pay $31 for it or 13?
I think this one I paid $31 for because all the stuff that were $13 were really kind of very minuscule because obviously it's a $13 tattoo. So I didn't want any of the little cruddy ones. I'm like, this is the only tattoo I'm going to have. I don't want this like little tiny line art on me. So I paid a little bit more to get something a little bit more significant, but it was like the second tattoo of the morning. So it's not very good.
Aww.
So I need to get it. Yeah, I need to get it redone. Plus it's super old at this point. So it's almost just like a
blob.
Almost just a blob, yeah. When you come back to your camera, you can
We'll see how long you can hold your arm up, Matt.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry,
yeah, it's just kind of almost a block now.
Oh, cool.
Now,
but
Abby,
I want to get it redone.
I will get this tattoo on one condition, and that condition is that it will cover my entire back.
That would be amazing.
Don't say that because that could happen.
Well, no, I can say that now, but when I can say that now, but if/when we go do this, I would not, ask for that there. I can say that now all I want.
Only on your lower back. Can it be a tramp stamp?
No
please?
Way. No
Come
way.
On.
No.
There's nothing sexier than a tramp stamp on a dude. Coolest tattoo I've ever seen. The
Tramp
only
stamp
tattoo
on a
I saw on this man's body was a Chevy logo on a guy's lower back.
And that just
it was
did
the
it for you.
trashiest thing I'd ever seen.
That just did it for you, didn't it, Matt?
It was so funny.
You're like, oh, I want to see the rest of that car or truck.
Yeah. Like, turn around, dude.
I want to see the bumper.
Show me your high beams and your tailpipe and other suggestive car things.
With your steering wheel.
When we're done, you better activate your wipers.
We could have easily gone with the stick shift. Would have been the clear winner.
You go. Well, you didn't chime in. You didn't chime in with this gem. You're letting
it's because
Abby
I just thought of it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, so Abby, Matt and I compiled a list of questions that, we figured that, and Matt, I highlighted and added some.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Basically, the ones that aren't highlighted, I think, are stupid and not worth asking. We figured
the ones that are not highlighted?
The ones that are not highlighted. We figured tattoo artists kind of get asked the same kinds of questions all the time. And so we try to come up with questions that you probably don't get asked very often or ever. So you can...
These are very high school famous type questions.
You can answer them honestly, or you can plead the fifth, or you can make up an answer. There's no rules. So...
and we won't know if you make something up, so...
It's true.
You won't know?
It's true.
Or you will know?
No. Just the man in the room with you that's hooked you up to the lie detector test. Only they will know.
Okay.
And the psychic.
Okay.
The first question, has one of your tattoos ever helped identify a murder victim or suspect?
Not yet.
Not yet, but
yet,
you're planning
but
on.
I'm
But you're planning on.
waiting.
Yeah, like
I'm waiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fingers
Can't
crossed. Waiting with bated
Yeah.
breath.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put the
which
answers down.
one do you hope for more, the victim or suspect?
I would rather
let's make this a two-parter.
I'd rather identify a suspect. Are we gonna fuck, marry, kill a suspect, a murderer, and a
I don't think
And
we
the
should do that
tattoo.
at
You
all.
shouldn't do any.
Marry the
you shouldn't do any of
tattoo.
these
Yeah.
things to a murderer. Oh, I see. So hold on a second. I'm sorry. I guess in either scenario, someone has to get murdered.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah,
if you help identify the
someone's dead.
victim, but
I'd rather identify a suspect.
Okay, good. I
Yeah,
thought that
because if the tattoo, in that sense, if the tattoo is being used to identify the victim,
there's nothing
that
left.
means the victim was really brutally murdered.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
means they
and you don't
dead.
want that.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, they
victim
did
smoothie at that
feel.
point.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
don't
Matt,
think any of my
you're-
clients would kill anyone, though. But who knows?
You never know. I used to work
Yeah.
with what I worked.
Why are you making me ask the second question?
You came up with it, and it's something that I know you legitimately want to know.
Uh-oh.
So go ahead.
It's terrible. Can you tattoo a larger version of my penis onto my penis?
I mean, it would have to go around it. It wouldn't be able to go on it if it's bigger than it. And I don't tattoo genitals, but like, I mean,
I think that was a different question.
yeah.
Okay.
That's when I did not highlight.
If it's bigger
don't
than your
tattoo
penis, it won't
genitals.
fit on your penis.
That's
But when
the
you
joke.
say you don't tattoo genitals, you mean you don't tattoo on genitals,
Correct.
or you don't tattoo genitals on people?
Oh, I'll tattoo
Like, I wanna-
images of genitals, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
tattoo
Okay.
on your genitals. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And probably
Matt-
not your butthole. Yeah. I mean, but
How
everything
dare
has
you-
a price.
Is
so
that considered a genital?
Well, it's a private
know.
area.
it's a
Hmm.
pooper. Yeah.
It's only private if you want it to be.
if you don't show it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only private if you keep it to yourself.
It's only private if I don't already have an Instagram for it.
Oh, Matt's
Weird.
asshole.
Mm-hmm. It's an
Um,
asshole.
All right. So interesting. So you won't do it on it, but your argument was
But you
also
could.
that if you
I'd
wanted
do
it
it
to
right
be
next to
bigger,
it.
if you wanted it to be bigger, it would have to be around it anyway. So
Right.
it's like you
Yeah.
by
Yeah, I can't
default.
optical illusion that for you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get
And, like-
a couple emails about tattooing penises, and one was like, it was one long run-on sentence that was like, "Hello, hi, how are you? I've been thinking about this for a really long time, and I thought it would be really cool if I got a tattoo of a footprint on the underside of my penis about 3 inches long." And that was the whole email.
The about 3 inches long was the description of the penis, not the footprint.
Ooh, I couldn't tell. But I just responded, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't tattoo genitals." They're like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
I guess I could have just asked that question,
Right,
and not
yep.
all the rest
Yeah.
of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
I
I
guess-
feel-
I-
now,
Do you want to
now
hear
I'm
another
embarrassed.
one?
Maybe they wanted. Maybe they
Oh,
wanted
happens a
to.
lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they just wanted to establish, like, hey, I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm working up the nerve to ask this. Maybe that was all the stuff leading up to it. Otherwise, it's like
Sure.
I'm just totally okay with asking this question to anyone.
Yeah.
It'd been funnier if at the end you're like, "No, I don't do that," and he's like, just kidding."
I didn't think that anyway.
I was just joking.
Yeah, I don't
It
even want to
wasn't-
get tattooed
I
by
didn't.
you.
I wasn't being serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, psych.
Footprint.
Like, yeah.
Psych.
You're
A
ugly anyway.
a footprint is such a weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, I
And-
want to get into that person's brain
You
and
don't.
be like, "Why
You
the
do not.
footprint?" True.
Because they probably like getting
Well,
their
I'd
dicks
be
stomped,
curious.
honestly.
Oh yeah.
and they
Um,
may or may not. I don't think they specified that it was a human footprint. First of all,
no, true. It could have been a
True.
raccoon.
Yeah.
yeah, the animal most commonly
Emu.
near that area, the raccoon.
Right. If anything's gonna stomp on your penis,
It's a
it's a
raccoon.
raccoon.
Just like a little garbage in one
I
hand.
like my mommy
and-
dom raccoons.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so do
Hey, mine
Sorry,
resembles
Sean.
trash.
Aw.
It's okay.
Yeah, the other one, the other good penis one, was I got an email that was like, "I want to get above my penis on my like belly or whatever, or mons pubis, 100% gay, men only." And I saw the request and I like couldn't get to it that day. So the next day I went to go look at it, and they had replied with a shared Google album. And I told my coworker, and I was like, do not open that. That is 100% dick pics. Don't open it. And she's like, okay. So I get to work in the morning, and I go to open it because I'm going to cackle at all of it. And it was indeed a couple of dick pics, but also them explaining to me what they meant in that picture. But they had written on their their fupa, their mons pubis, above their dick. It said in permanent marker, 100% gay, but they ran out of space, so men only was squished off to the side. And
I want to look just like this.
And their tiny little wiener with a bunch of rubber bands around it. And I was like, oh, cool. And then the next one was a video of that same wiener with a bunch of rubber bands around it, just gyrating. And
okay.
So I responded. I was like, hey, so this was actually a tattoo that we probably could have done for you, but since you sent us a bunch of unsolicited dick pics and included it non-consensually in whatever kink you're trying to accomplish here, we're gonna have to pass.
Right. Before you finish the story, I was thinking, what if you had replied no right away? Would he but it sounds like this guy still would have said that stuff because he was. Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of it is just creepy dudes trying to get a rise out of women. And because we have dudes that before we used to lock the doors, or we lock the doors now, but before we used to do that, people would just walk in and they'd see two women in a tattoo shop and they'd try to get all weird with us and stuff. And one old dude came in with a picture from his wallet and he's like, how much would it be to tattoo this? And it was a hand-drawn picture of a guy just jerking off. In a really old folded piece of paper, so it's been in there for fucking years. And me and
I
Jill
ask this question a lot.
Yeah, and Jill looks at it and she goes, "Oh, it'd probably take about 2 hours, so it'd be this much." And then I look at it and I'm yeah, about that long. And he got all sad that we didn't have a bad reaction to it, so he just folded it up and walked out. So
that's what you got to do.
Yeah, also I am gonna post this on the internet and laugh about it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
People are great.
Yeah. Men, do better.
Yeah. Yeah, dudes. Come on, men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Women are terrible too. Just kidding. All you non-binaries out there, you do better too.
I think,
everybody do better.
And raccoons.
Yeah.
I think the history books.
They're great.
I think the history books would show that men kind of have, a few steps ahead of women as far as being horrible.
I was waiting to see where you were going with that.
I think it'll show that we are far superior and we've nothing in the planet that's been accomplished could have been accomplished without us.
Sure. You're right.
Oh, but only the good stuff. The bad stuff,
Superiors in Wisconsin, Sean.
If we resort to the Bible, we know that women are responsible for everything that's bad.
Yes, because that's how I get all of my information is from that.
They always take the extra rib.
Yeah. They always take the last rib.
Did you guys grow up going to church?
I did not.
I did.
I did not either. I went to hippie church with Jan and her family in high school.
That sounds awesome.
It was really awesome. One of the kids that went there was a fucking murderer. Just remember that.
Less awesome.
Did he have any tattoos?
But also tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
That totally tracks.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go on to the next question here.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Let's keep
now,
it
Matt,
going.
I modified this slightly. Do customers like it when you sign your work?
I've only gotten one request to do that, and I said no, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want to be associated with this tattoo.
No, this is ugly and stupid. I hate it.
I'm not proud
I was
of
half asleep.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be on you forever, but man, I am not proud of this.
I never want to see it
it's
again.
Sloppy. Yeah.
There's only been a few of those.
Please don't be a returning customer. Go somewhere else for your needs. What are you doing now? You changed it back?
That makes more sense.
Sure. That's what we're going for.
Okay, then
we're going for what makes sense here.
Sure. Okay, then I will leave the
Do whatever
question
you
the way
want.
it was.
No.
No.
Do whatever you want.
No.
I'm not
no.
the.
Sean has
I'm not
spoken.
the question
You read
keeper.
it
This
one
is
way.
Sean's. This is Sean's podcast.
Okay.
I'm not the question keeper.
Sean Cast.
This next question that Sean so eagerly wanted me to leave the way he had it written was: how many times have you given a conjugal tattoo?
What does that mean?
Matt,
Like I go into prison?
It is a tattoo given during a conjugal visit.
Like they're out of jail and they get to go get a tattoo, or like
No, they're still in jail.
oh,
Like, say you're giving somebody a conjugal visit at a prison.
I don't visit
and you give them
anybody
a
in
tattoo.
prison. Not lately.
So 0.
Yeah, zero.
Zero then.
Yeah,
Oh, there.
Okay.
Just say zero.
yeah.
Yeah, 0. Okay.
And I
think
only
about it
went
too
to jail
much.
for 4 days. I didn't get any visitors.
Oh,
You didn't write. You
we
didn't
have a
write me any.
jailbird in our midst.
Yeah, you didn't write me any letters. I would have come.
Oh, I didn't have time.
Yeah.
To write in those 4
All I
days,
had
no
was
time.
Yeah.
They didn't allow
Yeah.
me pencils.
Yeah.
I was so. That was the busiest I've ever
You
been.
didn't.
Was my
Yeah.
4 days
Yeah.
in jail.
Yeah. I was just trying to stay alive, man.
My calendar filled up those 4 hours.
4 days.
4 days. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many internal organs have you tattooed?
Like images of internal organs or like,
Nope.
oh, 0. No.
No.
0.
That would be 0. I haven't been inside anybody lately, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. We didn't
Hmm.
ask about that.
well, how would I do
Matt-
an internal organ if I
It's
wasn't
true,
inside?
They could have it. They could hand it to you. Like, hey, I took this out for you to work on, and then I'll slap it back in once you're done.
I suppose. Yeah.
I got my
Or it
surgeon.
could be like on the way to a transplant.
Oh yeah.
They
This is
swing
the
in real
one.
quick.
Like, dude, this would be so metal if you tattooed the spleen before they put it in me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you get
Can you
tattooed on your
tattoo
spleen?
metal? The word metal.
No.
Exit only.
It's the
Spleen
most
and
metal
like death
tattoo you
metal
can have.
font. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah,
label.
of course.
You like to label your organs.
Illegible. Yeah, exactly. It's so the doctors know whenever I need future
Yeah.
surgeries, the
They know where
doctor's
to
like,
put it.
oh, there it is. Oh, what? That's the gallbladder. Who knew?
This surgery is so much easier now that everything's labeled.
You put
Yeah,
the
what a
date, you
considerate
put it in
patient.
there.
Yeah, there you go.
Expiration
And then
date.
there's an expiration date.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The spleen is about to go bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Got about 2
Now,
months.
All right.
Matt, this next question you've never read before, and it's a little
I've never
wordy.
read before.
It's a little
It's
wordy.
very
so
wordy.
you
Oh,
let me know
no.
if you want to take it or if you want me to take it.
Oh, I've got this.
Got it. Okay.
All right. They say the eyes are the window to the soul. How many times has a soul escaped through the eyes of a tattoo, resulting in the person's death? Or is the tattoo soul that escapes? And if so, what happens then?
So is this like the soul of the person getting tattooed, or am I tattooing a person on a person and there's a soul in the tattoo of the person on a person and that's escaping through the eyes of the tattooed eyes?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? So you
You understood
Isn't it?
that. So I read it and I didn't even get it.
you tattoo a face, something that has eyes onto a person.
Okay.
So that theoretically provides another way for that person's soul to escape out of. Because if the eyes are the window to the soul, there are now additional eyes on this person, as in
There are now
another way
additional windows.
out for the soul. Okay.
Okay.
So the question was, how many times has a soul escaped through the eyes of a tattoo, resulting in the person's death? And then the next follow-up is, or is it the tattoo's soul that escapes? And if so, what happens then?
I think it would probably haunt the closest doll
Ooh.
or
Ooh,
figurine.
Do you keep dolls and figurines in your tattoo parlor?
We have some figurines, yes.
So
They're
if
mostly
a doll,
they're mostly like little ceramic things that like some are unicorns, but some are like other animals that I glued unicorn horns on. So
sure,
they all have souls now.
they all have souls now.
Mhm.
So if one of them were to become haunted, what would you
Mhm.
do?
I just let it live its life. To each their own. Yeah.
It's probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Fair
you
enough.
love it, set it free. What?
So you would get rid of it?
Just
I
throw
would
it out
let
the window.
I would let it do what it needs to do, and when it's ready to leave,
You
it'll
would-
leave.
You would get rid of it, and you would hope it would come back because that means it loves you back, right?
I'd leave
That's
the
whole
door
thing?
open. I'd leave the door open.
Sure.
If it wanted to leave, it can leave. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it might choose not to. It might choose to stay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then
Very
weird, creepy
cool.
dudes will be able to get in.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Let me show you this.
Just leave the door open after hours.
Yeah,
Then you don't
not
have
when
to
I'm
worry
there.
about
Yeah, when I'm there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's just the opposite of like any other business.
Yeah. It's funny too because like I just
We're open. The doors are locked.
well, that's true. And I
Yeah.
just put our sign on the door. Like we've been there since 2006 technically, and we haven't had a sign outside and our door is like behind this really big pillar, so you can't see it. So like you have to know where it is to come to it most of the time. And so many people are like, "Where are you?"
It's the most exclusive tattoo shop.
Yeah.
And
It's like a speakeasy.
It says we're
It's
open.
like
to
the
know the
super
passcode.
hipster. It's like a super hipster thing. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you've never heard of this tattoo shop?
Yeah. Yeah, and it
Yes.
says we're open 12 to 8, but like me and Jill, if we're not working, we don't hang out there. So it's like we're there for like 4 hours a day. Sometimes it's a lot longer than that, but yeah.
I don't know if I like
Sean,
this
you
next
really
question.
did just write a bunch of questions that I have not seen yet. So
Exactly.
I get to cold read these questions.
No,
so,
I don't know if I
all
like
right.
this next one.
Do you want me to not do it?
I don't know. I can do the one after it. Okay.
Do the
I'll
one
ask.
after.
You're just gonna. Oh, it's your turn anyway. Never mind.
It's
yeah,
my
I was
turn.
about to read the next one.
All
Go
right.
for it.
Let's see.
Don't you know what? Commit. You did this to yourself.
I know.
Commit to the bit.
So if I get a racist tattoo, am I then also racist? Or is
Yeah, probably.
the artist racist?
I don't do racist tattoos. Like we
Well-
can say no to stuff, so we
Right,
do.
but in the scenario where someone
Did you
gives
pick
me
it? Or did they force you to get it?
I'm
Ooh.
given a racist tattoo.
Given one.
Maybe unbeknownst to me. Does that make me become? Do I turn into a racist?
What is your reaction after you find out you have like a big swastika on you or something?
Like, whoa, what?
I love it.
Not cool.
Not my first choice, but
It just makes me think of. I don't think Sean's watched. Have you watched Community, Abby?
Yeah.
The show Community.
Mhm.
Did you see the episode, the trampoline episode, where the guy like has his shirt off and then he has a swastika tattoo on his chest, and they don't like think about the fact that he's racist or whatever. He's like, it's gonna be a maze. That's what it made me think of.
We'll turn it into something else. What would you do after you went, whoa, what?
well, would
Would you get
It's
it
the worst
covered?
reaction.
Would you ask?
since they
uh,
well, okay, it all depends on a lot of things. So since they did the work, first I have to say, how much do I owe you, right? And whatever their answer is, that will determine if I can then immediately afford to have it covered up right away. Or I have to wait till I can save up some more money, and then in the meantime, I'll just, attend some rallies and see how I feel about them and kind of feel out this new me to see if it's maybe I'll change my mind on the whole thing.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
I want to put a
Oh
disclaimer.
man, this is the last episode of this show, isn't it?
I want to, yes.
He brings out
This is how
Hopefully,
it all ends.
Tiki torch and yeah.
Matt and I have said some silly things on this show in the past, and so I think that the audience has a gauge on whether or not I'm serious about what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I would never get a tattoo.
Not true.
Why'd I
You're
draw
gonna get a
one
Sean
for
tattoo.
You
I-
just
Get a
made
Sean
me
tattoo
do
tattoo.
unpaid labor.
You have to get this tattoo. If you don't, I'll be so upset if you don't get it.
So anyway, I would never get a racist tattoo. And if for some reason I found myself in a situation where I just had one, unbeknownst to me, I would get it covered up immediately.
Okay.
I would
Good,
take
good.
out a loan if I had to.
Okay.
Can we add a little part to the tattoo that you drew for him that it just in really fine print underneath just says isn't racist?
Isn't racist or might be racist. Like a little
Hasn't-
asterisk.
On the fence.
It's is
Open-minded about
undecidedly
racism.
racist.
Yeah. Unsure, undecided.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, until you get to learn who the people are, a lot of times they're just they're misunderstood. You're maybe not seeing things through their eyes. You gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta.
No, you
Tread
don't
lightly.
gotta.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, you don't gotta though.
I mean, okay.
Whoa, what?
Whoa, what?
It's guilty till proven innocent, Sean.
Matt, next question. What do you got for us?
All right. Is it true? It's cool to call a tattoo of a tank too. That's what I heard.
Stupid.
It is very stupid. And I will reinstate the fact that Sean wrote a bunch of these without my knowledge.
You say that like you don't think he's gonna do it.
I was on a roll.
I wasn't expecting
a
it. A
tank
tank too.
you can do whatever you want. Your body, your choice.
I was on a roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a picture? What kind of tank, though?
Like a fish tank or like a military
a fish tank?
Yeah.
A military tank, a tank top.
Ooh.
I was picturing. So when I formulated the question,
Mhm.
what was in my mind was like a military tank.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But this opens up a bunch of other possibilities, like a fish tank, for example, like you mentioned, a tank top, for example, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
other tanks,
Lobster
for example,
tank?
that we have
Same as
other
a fish
tanks.
tank?
Yeah,
It's bigger. Yeah, it's the same, but bigger,
Okay.
a
maybe.
chameleon tank,
A slightly
those are
bigger
tanks,
tank.
right?
Yeah, those are atriums.
Yeah.
When
Or
the stock
aquarium.
market goes down,
A water filtration
that
tank.
kind of a tank.
yeah, when the stock
Oh.
market drops, or something like that.
When you misspell thank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get a. Could you give me a tattoo of when I misspell thank? What a weird tattoo to get.
Tank. Tanks.
I want to get like that, thing like this, and then the arrow dropping like crazy, and then it says 1929. That's the kind of tank too I want to get.
Tank 2 I want. That's the only tank 2 I'd ever get.
That's such a weird, not inside joke, but you have to it's such a specific joke that most people would be like, 1929 and an arrow going down. Okay.
So for all of our international
And then
listeners,
it's just blowing. And
1929.
it's just like dust at the end and blowing.
Oh.
The arrow just turns to dust.
Oh, never
Now
forget.
people put those two things together, but those are actually two separate
never
things.
forget.
That just hashtag
The two dates in this country's history, never forget.
No, that's what I put right under it. I put the dropping arrow, the 1929, then hashtag never forget.
All right, so this summer Sean's getting 2 tattoos.
What?
So
It's
we can
this
each
summer?
have 2 each.
Yeah.
Why not? Why put it off?
Yeah, when's
Let's
the next
do-
time
Putting
you're
it off
going
Why
for
to
wait
40
till-
years.
Why wait till the summer? You know
Because
what?
that's probably when I'll be in Minnesota next.
Well, I wanted
And
to
then
heal.
have to go back to Wisconsin.
I like the idea of having it healed up before being in
Before
sleeveless
beach
or no
season?
Yeah, before beach season
Well, where are you going to get it?
on the beach.
on his throat.
No, where are you going to get the tattoo?
I have no. I have no idea.
If you're
That's a
only
good
getting
question.
one, go on your face for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
that's
So
always a
everyone
decent
can
question.
know.
How many faces have you tattooed?
0.
That's not on the list. It's not
I
on
wouldn't
the
feel
list.
comfortable doing that.
I've
It's not on
tattooed
the
one
list.
head, but it was the back of her head. And I've done a
Okay.
few on the neck and stuff, but I haven't done a full throat. And especially up north and in the Midwest, it's if you go anywhere else in the country, everyone is heavily tattooed, and it's way more
Right.
common, even in the South and shit. But up north and Midwest, it's a lot less. I mean, unless you get into the real methy counties, then there's a lot of neck
Right.
tattoos.
I like how they're
And
counties.
very few of them
Yeah.
are professionally done.
Like they're
Yeah.
separated by county. Oh, this is
Yeah.
a real methy county.
Or
Yeah,
the
this is
Iron
county.
Range, yeah. But yeah, it's becoming more common and stuff. And I guess there are some hipsters and stuff in town that have face tattoos and whatnot. But I'm kind of a in between a newer tattooer and old school tattooer, because if you're not already like heavily tattooed, I probably won't tattoo your neck, your hands, or your face. Just because
like I'm going in for my first tattoo ever.
And that's a big life choice. And I've had people ask
that would be a weird first tattoo.
People wanted something on their neck, and I was like, you're like 19, and this is like, I'm sorry that I have to mom you right now, but I'm going to mom you right now and be like, get some other tattoos first and see if you can even handle it, because I don't want to tattoo your neck if you can't handle it. And like, also that's a big
sounds
life
like a
choice.
painful place.
Yeah. Well, my first one was across my chest, so whatever. But
there was no one there to mom you in that moment.
My mom already had tattoos. I didn't know any better.
Oh yeah, my mom has a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's just so backwards of like
yeah.
I'm the least tattooed, other than my dad. I'm the least tattooed person in my family.
Nice. It's just me and my mom are the only people, and my grandpa had a couple, but like that's it. But like my dad is like builds hot rods and motorcycles and like lives out in the boonies and has 0 tattoos, and my mom is like the most conservative person out of my family and has a bunch of tattoos. So I don't know. It's weird. People be
Can't
weird.
Judge a book.
Yeah.
People be weird and.
Mm-hmm.
You totally can judge a book by its cover. That's like the best way to judge a book, actually.
That's why people put a lot of effort into book covers, right? They put a lot of effort into the cover. The pages inside are never as compelling visually as the covers are.
They're never as
true,
colorful.
unless it's a picture book.
Yeah, it's like what, like faded gray.
What if it's a pop-up book? Way more compelling.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
the cover is the worst part of a pop-up book.
I stand by
the
what
whole
I said.
point, like most books have a brief description of the book on the back cover, so you literally have to judge a book by its cover because you're not going to read the book in the bookstore.
Why do you have to judge a book at all?
Yeah, you prick.
Because it did a crime.
Because it did a crime, and I identified
and the
it by its
tattoo is
tattoo.
what the tattoo pinned him.
I got there first.
It was a tattoo book.
Yeah, and then the judge said, "Throw the book at
tattoos
him."
Book.
There you go.
It's a double book joke.
Oh, book them.
Oh, book them too.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, there's so many books in the criminal justice system. Who knew? Now, Abby, the next question. Be honest. Will monkeys ever become advanced enough to let me tattoo them?
Nothing will ever be advanced enough to let you tattoo them.
And you have to get consent. So if they're advanced enough to say yes, Sean, tattoo me, then
they could sign it
sure.
to you. But then you'd have to learn sign language.
No, but you guys are saying
you just have to know what yes in sign language is.
But what if the question is, will they become advanced enough? So they could become advanced to the point where they could verbally ask me to tattoo them, not having to resort to sign language. What, I didn't say, can monkeys in their current state allow me to tattoo them? That's not the question. And I didn't ask you, I asked Abby. So shut up.
Had enough of your questions.
What are you doing now?
I'm just going to say yes.
The question says in their current state, Sean.
Yeah, great.
Right there.
Too bad
what does it say?
Too bad you used the incorrect there, you jackass.
I know. I was trying to type it really quickly.
You
did it even worse.
Look what I did.
My final
Abby can't
answer
see
is
what we're doing.
These are awesome visual jokes that we're
Abby's
making right now.
Yes.
I can see that
Anyway.
you're kind
Only the
of
two of us can
fighting
see.
and typing. You're
All right,
typing.
Matt, you're up. You're up, Matt.
Oh, God, here's another banger of a question from Sean. Can tattoos think? If not, do they think they can?
I would say if it's a tattoo of something that would have a brain, then yes, they can think.
Ooh.
I also like to name tattoos on people while I'm doing them. Like if it's like an animal or a figure, like a person or something, I'll be like, her name's Roberta. And then sometimes they're like, oh no, it is. I tattooed a mermaid on my buddy, and I'm like, oh, her name's Trisha. And they were like, why Trisha?
It's like the trash.
They were like,
trashy
what?
sounding name.
Yeah, they were like, why is her name Trisha? And by the end of it, they're like, oh yeah, her name is Trisha. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
You're like, because I tattooed her holding a Coors Light
yeah,
can.
that's right.
They're
Please,
like, what?
please, while you're doing it, name a tattoo Scribble.
Scribble, and then they go, oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to call this one Incoherent Scribble.
Yeah.
Drunken, sloppy Scribble. You're going to love it.
This
I
one's
have a
called
question.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's How dare you?
I mean,
Well, first thing you have to do is weigh the pros and cons.
Cool.
You got to read the historical significance of what you're about to do and see what kind of an impact it's had on society as a whole. And if it's sort of fallen by the wayside, it's not in the public attention anymore after about 3 months, I say go for it.
And for me personally, it's the only way I know how to keep kids off drugs.
To dare them.
That's how dare I.
Dare I.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the real stuff. All right. Give an example of when a couple got matching tattoos. The couple broke up, but the tattoos remain friends.
Give an example. This is like name 2 people.
Well, I generally discourage couple tattoos because they are what I like to call the relationship kiss of death. It's usually a last-ditch effort to stay together, or like if you guys have to get tattooed to like, I don't know, prove your love for each other, you're probably not, I don't know.
It's probably either that or they like just met and they're like, you know, they're under the influence.
Hey, here's a fun thing to do on a first date.
Yeah.
Let's get, yeah. So George and Carol, those are the 2 you're giving? George and Carol.
Yes.
Yep. All right, Matt, you got the last one I came up with, and then if you want to come up with any more.
I just like to get, I prefer to get
mismatched tattoos?
Enemy tattoos?
Like 2 different
tattoo with your enemy?
No, like, couples handcuffs.
Like I get a sock and you get a sock of a different color.
Yeah.
Mismatched.
Last question. Have you ever lost a tattoo?
I mean, technically, sometimes you can have fallout of a tattoo. Like it can push out of your skin if it's not in there all the way, or like if it heals bad, or if it gets all scabby and you pick it, like it can fall out. So that could be technically a lost tattoo. Or sometimes people have surgery or something and have to cut where a tattoo is, and then that's gone.
Or if they have to have like skin removed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So there was a
serious, legit answers.
Weirdly,
to this, what I was hoping
real
was a
answer
stupid
to that question.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Let me rephrase. Have you ever misplaced a tattoo?
Before I tattooed it, like with the drawing of the tattoo, and then I had to like scramble to draw it again.
All right.
Are you mad?
Try again.
Have you ever misplaced a finished tattoo?
I mean, those people, there's tattoos I never see ever again. So would that be misplaced? Because some people get tattooed and never ever.
Oh no!
I never see them.
Oh no! He
Did
quit.
I break him?
Sean just quit.
I like your comforter.
Wow, he didn't even get to sit around to hear that nice compliment you gave him.
Don't tell him.
She gave you a compliment while you walked away, and you're not going to hear it until you listen back to this episode.
Yep.
That's fine. Yep. That's what I want. I want to hear things after the fact. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going to listen to this?
It's his kink.
I always listen to it when it when it comes out, so that I can make sure it sounds good. Because there's been some times where it's like, oh, Matt, there's something weird happened.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't trust me anymore.
Oh. I've only listened to one episode.
It actually has helped in the past, because there was an episode that I had to go back and fix, or there's been a couple that I've had to go back and fix.
Way to go!
Which episode did you listen to?
The one with Pokey, because I wanted to see if he was going to talk about me.
Oh wow!
And he did mention you.
I know.
He did mention you.
He's like,
and
yeah, we talk, and I'm like, no, we don't.
I still stand by the fact that I think you should give him a tattoo of the lyrics, the Taylor Swift lyrics. We're never getting back together. I think it would be super funny. Yeah. He Instagram messaged me, and it was like, so
I'm getting a
We
divorce.
used to date.
And I was like, oh, God. That's like all it said. I was
Oh,
like,
he
Jesus
did?
Christ, yeah. I was like, what do you want?
So I'm rebounding.
I was like, what do you want? He's like, I want to get a tattoo and I want you to do it. I was like, cool, here's my email address. And then he kept talking
You're
to
like,
me.
thank God.
Well, he might have been using that as the way in, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, now that we're done, let's go out and get dinner or something. And then
He's
you
like,
know.
well, you've been poking me all day.
It's only fair.
I already
I
told you.
promise I won't go as long as you did.
And it will not be as painful.
Oh, love you, Pokey.
You probably won't even feel it.
Oh.
Whoa!
Hi, Pokey. Hope you listen to this.
Look, I already explained I don't do genitals.
Yep.
Bam.
Mm-hmm.
God, now Sean's bringing it full circle.
Uh-oh. I hate full
Yep.
circles.
I'm the only one who hasn't.
Yeah, come on. Stuck
Yeah,
at this.
look, you look like Pac-Man over there.
Oh.
What?
Not a full
When his
circle.
mouth- When his mouth's open, he's not a full circle.
You didn't even get it.
Nope. That just went completely over my head.
Wow.
All right. Oh,
Do you know how
I need sleep.
Do you know how Pac-Man got his design? What he looks like?
By accident?
The man was he was eating pizza. He was in a restaurant eating pizza and saw a few slices removed from a pizza and thought, well, this could be the shape of a video game character.
But at first they
course.
called him
That's
Piz
how-
Man.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was originally Puck Man.
People are like, don't call him
Piz-Man.
Piz Man and make him yellow. People are going to think something else. Yeah. Mom, I'm playing Piz Man.
Piz Man.
Look at this yellow round puddle of a character.
Get back in your cage.
Matt
Yep.
Matt raises cats, so he thinks that's how you raise
I
children.
just brought this to a screeching halt.
Yeah, way to go.
Do you really have
Everyone's
cats?
like, what? Yeah, I have 2 cats.
I have 3. Let's talk about our cats.
Sure.
They're cooler
Finally,
than
then Sean
children.
can stop talking shit about cats.
Cats fucking
I
rule.
just talk shit about your cats.
Yeah, my
'Cause
cats are.
They're dicks and they hate each
They are
other.
dicks.
And you're like, let's
Yep.
keep both of them.
Well, yeah. I'm not asking you to get rid of your dog or kid. Stop telling me how to raise my cats.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they're working on their issues.
Mhm.
That's more than I can say about your cats.
Well, your kid's only there half the time.
Yeah, and then the dogs, they're the other half.
Your dog's there
Switch
all the
up?
time.
Yeah, no. I'm like, oh,
Sean
please.
sees his dog more than he sees his kid.
Hey, that's actually like
I know,
a mean
that's
thing
kind
to
of-
say.
It's sad.
I thought about that after I
And
said
also
it.
It's
not
like
really
actually
your
mean.
Like a
choice.
horrible way, but
Because that's 100% true. I never thought of it like that.
Aw. The dog and the kid don't notice.
it's
No.
fine. We know
Yeah.
you love your kid more.
It's
And
that's
the only reason you have the dog is because the dog would go insane without you. Your kid at least can handle not having you.
My kid's fine without me. My
This is
dog
getting
would
better.
lose it. I know. You're not. It's not.
The less time around me, the better. Keep digging that
So
hole.
remember before when you said screeching
Yeah.
halt? Yeah, that was nothing compared to this. Nothing compared to this.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You heartless cat owning jerk.
Like I said
Oh.
before, this might be the last episode of this podcast.
Yeah, is this really
We're
the
disbanding.
118th episode?
It is.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
It's
And-
the 100.
And
Well,
thank you for the
yeah, I
list.
was-
Thank you, Abby. Thank you for listening to one in the hopes that you would hear your name mentioned.
It worked, though.
It
Wow.
did work.
such a self-serving purpose of
I don't have time to listen to other things.
clearly you have like 38 jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And you
mold
go
it.
to
Yeah.
jail in 4-day increments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like
No
10 years ago
downtime.
now.
You started that pattern 10 years ago?
Yeah. 4
Wow,
days
that's a lot
a
of
year.
jail time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
4 days every 10 years.
Yeah.
It's got to be
like
fun
the
coming
Army
up with
Reserve.
new ways to go to. It's got to be fun coming up with new ways to go to jail, like new reasons to get
Yeah.
thrown in the clink.
But you have to figure out the things that will only get you 4 days.
4 days.
Oh,
exactly.
I sneak into jail.
Oh,
yeah.
They don't. But one thing you don't know about jail, Matt, is they don't lock their doors after hours.
Yeah,
It's easy to get
At
in.
night they're open.
Yeah, open all night.
Breaking out of jail, hard. Breaking into jail, weirdly easy.
Like, yeah, you know what? We don't care.
And
if
after
they're-
about 4 days, they figure out you're not supposed to be there,
Yeah,
and
they're
they
like,
let you out.
See you again.
Wait a second.
And they go,
You're
look,
wearing regular clothes.
get out of here. Yeah.
look. None of us remember bringing you in, so we can't explain this.
Prove it. Yeah. We can't feed you
We're
anymore.
all denying that.
We
Yeah,
can't give you free rent. Yeah.
that's what it is, really. Like, I got no place else to stay. I'll bust into jail.
Yep.
Sleep on a nice cement floor.
I think there's some people that when they get paroled, they will literally just like they realize that they can't really function out in the world, so they commit a crime just to get put back in jail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that happens.
It's a real thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't get a
Like,
job.
man.
You can't afford housing. You can't work anywhere. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, realistically, it's really hard for ex-convicts to get a job in the first place, let alone something decent paying enough that you could afford housing. But
Then
yeah,
you're usually
it's-
on like not parole, but I mean, yes, parole, but also what's the other one?
Like house arrest.
house arrest?
Or whatever. There's a bunch of them.
Probation?
Yeah. Probation.
Probation?
Yeah, which you have to pay for to be on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had to pay
It's
to
weird.
be on
It's
probation.
a weird situation.
Yeah. And then I had to
It's
pay
like, hey,
for a
we're
bunch of other
forcing you to
stuff.
be on this.
Yeah. Yep. It's all money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, you're the
Oh,
you're
we
a prime
got real
example right
sad.
here. No, you're. I mean, you've done time, and the best thing
We
you
haven't
could-
determined
best
how
thing-
hard that time was, but
Best-
you've done it.
4
best thing
days,
you could get is working at a tattoo parlor. It's not
I
easy.
suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the best thing you could get. It's a fucking great
It's
job.
actually a really
I know,
good,
I'm
a really,
I'm
really
just-
good job.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joshing, as they
Mm.
said in the past. They retired that term.
I just remembered another fun Abby memory
Oh no.
of when you had to drive Mark's car
Oh god.
back from St. Paul when Josh got so drunk that he was projectile vomiting everywhere and had to get taken away in an ambulance.
Mhm.
And Mark was told he could no longer drive the car because he was slightly intoxicated.
Uh-huh.
Well, he had alcohol in his system and we were underage.
Yes. Were you in the
And
car
you had
too?
to drive. No. We were in a
Okay.
different car. It was
I
just
wonder who
you,
was in
Josh, and Mark in that car. And we were like, where are they? It took you guys like an extra hour to get back
They took Josh to
because a cop
HC
ended up pulling in behind you.
They took him to HCMC, and they were, I don't even know what they were drinking, but yeah, he just projectile vomited into like the air vents of the car and like everywhere. And then we were like trying to clean it up and like whatever. And then the cops came. And then Mark was, how tall was Mark? Like 6'5" or something ridiculous.
Mark's 6'3", I think.
Okay.
Maybe?
His chair didn't work, so I couldn't move it up to drive.
Oh,
Yeah. And there was puke everywhere.
let them know, Larry. Let everyone know how tall you are.
5'1".
Yeah. So, yes, there's a visual for you all.
Oh.
Someone trying to drive the car of someone who's 6'3" and his seat wouldn't move up.
Yeah, and there's puke everywhere, and it was so bad.
And then wasn't it the cop said you're gonna have to ride in the back seat of on the way home or whatever? He's like, "Well, I can't ride in the passenger seat." And the cop looked at all the puke. He's like, "If you want to."
I would not choose that if
He's
I
like,
were you.
Yeah, no, I'll sit in the back.
Uh,
No, I just remember we were all sitting because we all went to Mark's house and we're all sitting there waiting. Like, what the hell is taking Mark, Abby, and Josh so long? And then the car pulls in with Abby driving and Mark in the back and no Josh to be found.
Yeah, and he wouldn't sit in the front. Yeah. 'Cause of the
We're just
puke.
like, what happened?
I had a fun memory. I think it was you guys who I don't even remember his name, but like I had like made out with this kid like one time and he had like the worst haircut and he like wouldn't leave me alone. So you guys at school were both like, "Hey, you need to leave Abby, my girlfriend, alone." And we had like 4 different
I remember
dudes
that.
tell him that.
Yeah. Do you remember this, Sean? Like,
No.
I
Was
think
his
you were a
name
part of it. I was a part of it.
Josh?
I don't remember who the kid was at all, but I vaguely remember this. But we each walked up to this kid separately at different parts of the day and just said, "You need to leave my girlfriend Abby alone."
Yeah, it was you guys and I think maybe one or two other people.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I remember that. That was great.
Nice. Was this
And I assume he left you alone after that?
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
So funny.
was this kid in your grade?
No, he was your grade, I think.
Our grade.
So he was a year older
Yeah,
than me.
I don't know who this. Yeah, I don't know who this was.
I couldn't tell you who it was either, but it was real
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, we made out like
His
one
na-
time, and then he was like super
Yeah.
clingy and weird, and I was like, ugh.
His name was.
Well,
Pokey.
hey, if you listen,
Good
night,
yes,
everybody.
Good
drop
night.
us a message so we know who you are.
Here's Abby's address.
Yeah, we'll
Phone
give you
number.
her email.
Yeah,
And
she misses you. She's not her girlfriend anymore.
yeah,
Yeah, we both were done with her real fast.
We moved on.
You know what pissed
Like
me off?
immediately, like literally immediately after we told you that, we had
Yeah.
moved on.
Yeah.
You know what pissed me off? Because I heard she made out with some other dude, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm done with this chick.
I
We're
heard she had
through.
like 3 other boyfriends that day.
Yeah, I'm like, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
She's wild. She's gonna end up in jail.
For at least 4 days,
At least
one
4
for every
days.
man.
Yep.
Didn't write a letter to any of them.
No, she didn't have time.
Nope.
I know, so busy.
Too busy.
I tattooed
jailing.
their names on me, and then they've disappeared.
And everyone, all 4 of them broke up with you.
Was it conjugal tattoos while you were in jail?
Oh.
Full circle. I brought it full circle,
Yeah.
guys.
You did!
Yay!
Woo! Shapes.
Podcast
See you next
over.
Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
I quit.
Bye.
Bye.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
Some are unicorns, but some are like other animals that I glued unicorn horns on.